Bruchim habaim ledikduk dakot. This grammar video is on the Vav-Reversive. The Vav-Reversive, similar to the Vav-Consecutive, is a unique, peculiar verb form in Biblical Hebrew. It is formed by taking a perfect and attaching a Vav to it. Whereas the Vav-Consecutive was formed by taking an imperfect and adding a sort of unique Vav to it. The Vav-Reversive is formed with a perfect form. It can only be made by taking a perfect form and adding a Vav to it. So the two are kind of opposite of each other. The Vav-Reversive almost always is used in direct speech or in dialogue. As I said before, the Vav-Reversive is made from two things, from a perfect verb and attaching to that on the beginning just a simple Vav, a Vav followed by a Sheva. That's really all you get. Perfect verb with a simple Vav followed by a Sheva attached to the beginning. Now you may be wondering why specifically it's called Vav-Reversive. What's the reversive part have to do with it? Well, the Vav has to do with the attaching of the Vav. The reversive has to do with how it functions in English translation. So in the same way that the Vav-Consecutive was used by a narrator to narrate consecutive actions from the past, the Vav-Reversive, the attachment of the Vav actually reverses the tense in translation. Recall that Hebrew verbs are not tense-based, they don't have a tense, but when we translate them in English, we have nothing to choose from but tenses. So perfect forms are generally translated using past tense verbs because it's a completed verb form, completed action. The Vav-Reversive reverses that and takes what we usually use as a past tense and translates it either as a future tense or sometimes as an imperative or also with the subjunctive. We'll get into that in a minute. Let me give you a couple of examples. We have three perfect forms that are perhaps somewhat familiar to you here. The first one is from the Shema, the second verse of the Shema. Ahavta is the verb to love. This is the second masculine singular perfect form. We would translate this generally, you loved. But if we attach a Vav with a Sheva onto the beginning of it, now it's a Vav-Reversive. And so we would translate it either you will love or love, you shall love, sort of carrying imperative force, or in the subjunctive, something like, oh, that you would love. Here, niham is a third masculine singular affix form, or perfect form, from the third chapter of Jonah. It means he relented, or he repented, or felt sorry. And if we add a Vav with a Sheva, now it's veniham. Now the tense is reversed in translation, and so it's something like, and he will relent, or repent, or feel sorry. Or, oh, that he would, or perhaps he will, something along those lines. Finally here we have another word from the Shema, hayu. Well, it's not from the Shema yet. Hayu is they were, talking about the words perhaps. If we add a Vav with a Sheva, now it's vehayu, vehayu. Oh, that they would be, or perhaps they will be, or let them be, let them be. This verb is also used in the Vav-Reversive form in the first chapter of Genesis, in the creation story. Let them be, referring to the heavenly lights. So you really have three options in terms of translation. One would be to have imperative force. So the speaker, recall Vav-Reversives are used in direct speech or in dialogue. The speaker wants to communicate that the person being spoken to would do something. So communicate urgency, carrying imperative force. Another would be kind of just simply a future, talking about something that hasn't happened yet. Or the third option would be the subjunctive, demonstrating desire or will or hope for some future action. The curious question then is, why does this verb form exist? Why would the people of Israel, in telling their stories, or the prophets use these verb forms all the time, why would they use a completed verb form, talking about action that has already come to completion, to refer to some future action that hasn't happened yet? I have my ideas, but what do you think? Lech l'shalom.